It's Penny and the professor. Here's Penny.
Hi Penny, how's it going? Good, wasn't that an amazing discussion? Everybody found such great information about Aliki and how the senses are used in this book with this little boy. How did he use all of his senses? And you guys were able to show a deeper exploration and help answer Cassie's question about what happens when you take a deeper exploration. You reveal more information. You show things that you didn't know were there before, because the words would say one thing, but then there was more in the pictures and you guys found it. You guys are like little detectives. Great job finding text evidence. I'm so proud of you guys. And Penny's proud of you guys too. She found a couple of things in there too that she loved. So I think now that we've answered Cassie's question pretty well, let's take another look at Fluffy's question. How do people use their senses to learn about the world? Well, I think this calls for an anchor chart. Do you guys know what an anchor chart is? Well, an anchor chart is somewhere where we can keep our information so that we can look back at it later and use it again. And so on this anchor chart, we're going to have our question at the top, and it's going to say, how do people use their senses to learn about the world? So on our anchor chart, it will say, how do people use their senses to learn about the world? Because that's our question. That's Fluffy's focus question, and that's a great place to start, because good writers start with a question. And then they do what? Who remembers what they do after they start with a question? Anybody? Well, that's right. They go back. I heard you. I heard you too. They go back and they look at the book and they reread and they look for text evidence that shows whatever they want to know, right? So the question is, how do people use their senses to learn about the world? So in our book, we're going to be looking for ways that this little boy uses his senses to learn about the world. And then, oh, what's that, Penny? She has a question. Hold on, let me get her. Oh, I hear a bus going by. Did you hear that? Me too. I see it too out my window. You guys can't see it on the video, but a big school bus just went by. Oh, yeah. So Penny wants to know, what do we do with the evidence when we have it? Well, that's what the anchor chart is partly for. We are going to evidence organize. So we're going to have what's called an evidence organizer, and we're going to put all of our evidence up in our anchor chart organizer. We're going to call it the evidence organizer. And we're going to see all this evidence that we've collected going up on the organizer so that we can keep track of it. How does that sound? Does that sound good to you guys? Sounds great to me. I think it's going to help us a lot. So let's get started on page 14 of our book. So I'm going to find page 14 in my book. You guys find page 14 in your book. If you don't have a book, just wait, because we'll put it up on the screen. There we go. I found it. And I just want to read it out loud to you. I want you to listen. Use your sense of hearing. Use your sense of sight. We're going to think about how we would put this evidence into our evidence organizer. So as you can see on our evidence organizer, we have all of those main key details that we found earlier. We have an eyeball because of the sense of sight, right? And we have an ear and a nose and a mouth and a hand to remind us that we are organizing all these key details. And now we're taking a deeper exploration into the book so we can get more text evidence, right? So we can answer Fluffy's question. How do people use their senses to learn about the world? Well, on page 14, it says, I do all this with my senses. I have 5 senses. When I see a sun or a frog or my baby sister, I use my sense of sight. I am seeing. So a picture of a frog might go where? Where would we put the picture of the frog? That's right, under the eyeball. Okay, where would we put the picture of the sun? Right again, under the eyeball. This page is about the sense of sight, and the text evidence is showing us that he sees the frog, he sees the sun, and he sees his baby sister. So we're going to organize that text evidence, Penny. We're going to put it on our chart so we can see those are the things he saw in the books. We're going to put them right in those columns. Okay, so I'll put those up there for us. There we go. And then we're going to look at the next page. So let's look at this page that has a drum, a fire engine, and a bird. Where are those pieces of text evidence going to go in our evidence organizer? Any ideas? Anyone? That's right, I heard you. It's gonna go under the sense of hearing, right? So we're gonna put that right under the ear so that we have the fire engine and the drum and the bird under the ear because they're things that the boy heard or used his sense of hearing for. How about the soap and the pine tree and the cookies right out of the oven? That's right, under the nose because he smelled them. You guys are getting really good at this. We're gonna have such great organizing up here. It's gonna be amazing. The next one says that there's milk and there's spaghetti and there's salad here in the picture. So where can we put that evidence and that text evidence? Under the sense of taste, under the mouth. Even though it doesn't have a tongue on it, we know we use our tongue to taste. We're gonna put that right up there. And then how about this balloon and the water and the kitten? Right under touch, under the fingers. Perfect. You guys, our evidence organizer is coming along. I love it. So now I wonder, how do I use all this evidence that we've organized in my writing? Because we've said that good writers ask a question, which we did. They look in the book for text evidence and they organize their evidence or figure out what they're going to do with it. And then what do? They write an answer. They respond to the question. They tell people what they found out, right? So that we can read about it and learn more from whoever did the research. And you guys are the researchers right now. You guys are the amazing readers and researchers. So what's happening is you're having the question and then you're looking for the answer and then you're using that evidence to answer the question. So Crafty wants to know, how do we do that? How do we use our text evidence in our writing? And I'm thinking that we start with a sentence frame. So I don't know if you guys remember, but sentence frames help us a lot, right? Our learning coaches and our parents and grandparents and older siblings can help us write out that part of the sentence. That's the sentence frame. And then we kind of fill in the blanks right now because we're kindergartners. And by the end of the year, we'll be writing all kinds of sentences on our own. But right now, we're practicing. And so it's okay to have help writing a little bit from an adult and then filling in the blanks. So let's start with this sentence frame. What do you guys think about this? Let's be on the page where he has the frog and the sun. And let's think about this. The boy sees, that's a great sentence frame, right? There's a blank at the end. We fill it in. The boy sees, we can look at our evidence organizer. The boy sees a frog. The boy sees the sun. The boy sees his baby sister. So you could put whichever one of those at the end of that sentence frame. You could pick one, right? Let's try this one. The boy hears, that's right, the boy hears a fire engine. The boy hears a bird. The boy hears the drums. So any of those would work. And now I want you to pick one in your response journal today. And I want you to write down, you can choose which sentence frame you want to do. You can do the boy smells and tell me one thing he smells. You can do the boy tastes and tell me one thing he tastes. Or you can do the boy touches and tell me one thing he touches in the book. Make sure it's in the book or it's not good text evidence. You can use text evidence organizer to get your ideas straight. You can look in the book and get your text evidence there. I want you to pick one of those sentence frames. The boy smells, the boy tastes, or the boy touches. And fill in, you could even use the word feels if it's easier for you. The boy feels, because that's another word for touching things, right? Like I can feel how soft Penny is, or I can touch Penny's little hand here. So one of those ways to talk about it. If you're really bored and you have all kinds of time in your life and you want to write 3 sentences, you can sure write one for each of those 3 sentences. You could even write 5, one for each of the 5 sentences. Write as many sentences as you want, but you only have to do at least one. So I can't wait to see what your writing looks like in your response journal today, and I can't wait to see what kind of text evidence you use from our organizer and from the book to tell us what the boy is doing. The boy smells, the boy tastes, or the boy touches. Can't wait to see what you guys write. I'll see you guys soon. Have a great day.